Rachel Ray, today at 2 on KCRA 3.
You're watching the U.S. Open Championship.
Calvin Farrell strikes again. Players Championship. His 5th French Open title. Stanley Cup.
Part of NBC Sports Championship season.
The breathtaking beauty of Pebble Beach on a first-round Thursday at the 110th United States Open Championship, as this championship has returned to Pebble for the 5th time. Lots of storylines already developing, including Phil Mickelson, record 5 times a runner-up, but this is why Phil Mickelson is entertaining to watch play golf. This was his 2nd at the par 5 18th as he was making the turn. Was it too much of a gamble? It did not pay off this time. That led to what would be a string of bogeys for Mickelson, who now stands at +4 for the championship, a full 6 off the lead. Last year's first-round leader at Bethpage, another lefty, Mike Weir, for birdie at the 14th. That was the last of 3 in a row for Weir to get up to 2 under, where he stands right now. And then David Toms trying to regain that major championship form. He's overcoming some injuries and looking good right now at 2 under with that birdie at the scenic par 3-7. KJ Choi went bogey double the first 3 holes to begin this championship at +3, but it's about perseverance in the U.S. Open. And look how he has battled back to 2 under. So at the moment, it's Weir, Toms, and Choi tied at 2 under as this quest has begun for the 110th U.S. Open Championship. And the man who blew away the field the last time it was played here will begin his latest U.S. Open journey at Pebble Beach in about an hour and a half. Tiger Woods coronation begin officially in front of the fans at 18. The 100th U.S. Open champion in history.
Well, it's not too bad a Father's Day present, is it?
From Windermere, Florida, Tiger Woods.
It was transcendent, surreal, a week of golf never seen before or since. Now, a decade removed from the greatest performance in major championship history, the stunning shores of Pebble Beach call again. Where the amazing always seems to happen. Where the champions seem to always seize the moment. That's Pebble Beach. That's the U.S. Open.
The Open Championship of the United States of America.
It's the test that, if you survive it, gives you the thrill of a lifetime. Pebble Beach and America's championship together again. NBC Sports and the United States Golf Association are proud to present a national championship. Today, it's first-round coverage of the 110th United States Open. Pebble Beach, by all accounts, has never looked better, and that speaks volumes about a course that has been iconic around the world for nearly 100 years. And on a day like today, bathed in the Northern California sunshine on the Monterey Peninsula, it is indeed at its very best, firm and fast, with a setup that brings into play more than ever those rocky cliffs that spill over into Stillwater Cove and Carmel Bay. A perfect course on a perfect day to begin this 110th U.S. Open. We get you right out to the action again at the 13th. Ian Poulter for birdieing with a call. There is Brad Faxon.
Thanks, Dan. Poulter's hit in a pretty good spot just short of this green, and he's got it up the hill where you want to be. Time for the lead. Poulter, one of the early picks this week, in 8th in the world ranking, certainly showing he belongs right there on top of the leaderboard to 12.
David Toms with a chance for a rare birdie 2 here at the difficult par 3. This one down the hill, putting toward the ocean very fast. And Toms, respecting that speed, should have no trouble tapping in for a par to remain at 2 under. And we move ahead to the short par 4 16th, just 403 yards. KJ Choi, after a perfect drive, playing his second shot down the hill, back left hole location today. Want to stay short of it and leave an uphill putt. KJ does just that.
All right, the early leaderboard on this breezy, crystal clear day in Northern California shows you Ian Poulter from England, Tony Jacklin, 1970, the last to pull it off. As far as Europe is concerned, he leads at 2 under with Weir from Canada. David Toms also at that number. Eduardo Molinari, the U.S. amateur champion from years ago at Marion, a part of the group at even par. Not many players under par at all, and a difficult test here at Pebble Beach as we welcome you back to another U.S. Open at famed Pebble Beach. Dan Hicks back with Johnny Miller. Very special for you, I know. A winner here as an amateur, the Cal State amateur, as a 21-year-old, and then a winner here for the 3rd time in a 3rd different decade here at Pebble Beach at the age of 46. Always special, a U.S. Open is, Johnny, but here on your old stomping grounds at Pebble Beach makes it even better.
Yeah, it's, this U.S. Open is just off the charts for me. This is, like, as I say, the greatest meeting of land and water in the world, if you ask me, and especially when you stick 18 holes out there. And this land is sort of a sacred piece of property, and it was meant to be, I think, a golf course, and it's holding up so well. It is playing, folks, you know, longer than the last time here, 7,040 yards, but not a lot of rough, just, you know, about that much rough, and it's mowed so that it's facing the target, so you should be able to get through it. And I really thought there would be some, you know, it's light wind. I really thought there'd be some 66 and a couple 67s and several 68s and 9s. And so far, the course is doing great. But the reason why I think the course is holding up so well is you get that first big bounce. The greens are running 13 on the stemp meter, which is very fast for these small little tiny greens with all the slope. And no one's really playing great.
All right, well, we've got some great pairings coming up. Tiger Woods tees off a little later on. Tom Watson will be seeing him. Gary Koch, Brad Faxon, Peter Jacobson on the towers for us at this 110th championship. Jimmy Roberts checking in with him, and we've also got the executive director of the United States Golf Association, David Buffet, with us here to tackle any rules interpretations that may come up here at Pebble Beach as the U.S. Open is contested here for the 5th time, and it was announced just recently it'll be back here in 2019 as they celebrate the 100-year anniversary of Pebble Beach. Out to 16.
Well, incredibly difficult shot here for Mike Weir. Has to land it on the downslope. Oh, Mike Weir to 3 under par. That is his 4th birdie in the last 5 holes. And Johnny, that was an unlikely one.
It was. He almost double hit that. He came within just a couple inches of catching it because it hung up on the hit, and then his club went through. But what an unexpected birdie. That was a 2-shot swing, folks.
Over to the 7th.
Luke Donald with this birdie putt here on the short par 3. Get him back to even par. Yes, sir. Hanging tough. After a double bogey in the 2nd hole, he's got it back to even par. Let's go up to 9.
Where we have Rafa Bello, excuse me, for a birdie. Up the hill, should move a little to the right. Very slow putt. This 26-year-old from the European Tour won the Austrian Open last year. And we'll move over to the 16th. KJ Choi has a putt for a birdie. Left it underneath the hole, Johnny, and that is such a key here, it seems like.
It is, and you can see the size of that grip that he has. What that does, if you have a little trouble with a little bit of too much hands on your stroke, the fatter the grip, the softer the hands.
Big swing from right to left.
Yeah, not many people get this to the hole, just like the putt we saw at 9. It's just, you know, that's where, you know, a local caddy or playing here a lot of times can make a big difference. Not that you want to knock it 3 feet by, do you, Gary?
No, you don't want that downhill left to righter, that's for sure. Surprising to me, Johnny, that more guys don't take local caddies out with their regular tour caddy just to help the practice round. Here we go over to the 6th, the par 5. Mickelson said his game plan was 4-iron off the tee every day. Feels as though he can still reach the green in 2. He hits this ball solidly.
Oh, that's a beautiful little draw, going draw with a lot of run. That's a long 4-iron.
Over 13.
Where David Toms has his second shot from the right side of the fairway. And Dottie, this is a tough angle.
It's a terribly tough angle. David not long enough to challenge the bunker on the left off the tee and paying a bit of a price. 194 yards left for his second.
You can see here you can't see the bottom of the flag. And the shorter hitters, Dottie, they have to play it out to the right to the new part of this fairway. It's a 260 carry.
This is right as well.
Boy, and that's going to be a difficult up and down. Choi made his par at 16 as well.
That was quite a miss.
Yeah, you came out of that one, Johnny. Maybe trying to fight it off from hooking, and he certainly slapped it out there to the right. Let's go over to Jimmy Roberts.
All right, thanks very much. A moment now to spend some time with our friend Tim Rosefort, senior writer of Golf World magazine. So many good stories here as usual at the Open, but one of the better ones is Lee Westwood, who has a reputation of heartache in these major championships. Second at the Masters in April. One shot out of a playoff 2 years ago when the Open was at Torrey Pines, but he comes in, Tim, on a roll.
Jimmy, a lot of guys burn out in their preparation for the Open, but that hasn't been the Lee Westwood story this week. First of all, you got to like a guy who 6 hours after he wins in Memphis is here in the tap room closing the place, but easy practice schedule. Took it easy on Monday. His only full round was on Tuesday. Yesterday he's out with Kelson and the Molinari brothers. They're talking more World Cup than they are anything else. So he avoids the 5.5-hour rounds, the autographs, most of the media. Why? Because he flies in here actually before Memphis from London to do 2 solid days of work with his caddy, Billy Foster. Took a local caddy as well. And they feel like if it's that saves him 1 shot, and that 1-shot difference in the closeness of his major championship finishes in the last 2 years, that's going to be the U.S. Open victory for him. He's an extremely calm guy for a guy who's had so much heartache.
And you mentioned that, of course, he won last week in Memphis. No one has ever won the week before the Open and gone on to win the Open Championship. Another story, maybe the best one here, is 30-year-old Eric Compton, who is playing in his first ever major championship. Of course, the distinction about this guy, amazing, 2 heart transplants.
It should be 2 years ago when Tiger's winning the Open on what we learned later was a broken leg. Eric's down at his parents' house in Miami, stapled up basically from heart all the way down through his legs, gaining inspiration from Tiger's victory, vowing that someday he would play in the U.S. Open. Gets through in a local sectional qualifier, 39 holes, which is amazing for him with his condition. Energy conservation is important for him. He's only played 9 a day, except Tuesday night he gets a call from Ernie Els to go out and play a late afternoon practice round yesterday. The 2-time Open champion knows Eric from when he played in Doral, over in Dubai, and around the world. Eric said, I'm his hero, he's mine, and obviously you gain a lot playing from a guy like Ernie Els going in. The only thing he's nervous about, and I talked to him this morning, is he starts on the 10th hole, and that's tough.
What a great story. All right, Tim, we're going to check in with you later. Let's go out to the 17th hole.
All right, Jimmy, thank you very much. As you look at Søren Kelsen from Denmark, he had the early lead this morning in this championship at 3 under, but 3 bogeys since. He's dropped to even.
Looks like he hit it out to the right. He was way late on it. He's played on a going hook, so it's not as bad as he thought, but he's going to have to chip it there from there. You cannot putt it. It's one of the anomalies or strange things about Pebble Beach is you can hit the right side of the green here and have to hit your sand wedge to get it close, and even then you probably can't get it too close.
Other than that, it's straightforward to 14.
Lucas Glover, our defending champ, for par. The 14th, one of the most talked about holes here at Pebble Beach, coming up to the U.S. Open.
Well, Mike Weir, after the chip in at 16, which gave him the lead, has a bit of a wait now at the famous 17th, which has produced some heroic shots through the years. But this is one that the lefty from Canada will remember for a long, long time, especially if it helps him to victory here at Pebble. We'll see.
Monday, it's New York's final chance to make the last comic semis.
Yes! Yes.
Yeah, but it's not going to be a snap for everyone.
I can't get one yes.
I can give you one yes if they both say no.
Last Comic Standing's back Monday, 9/8 Central on NBC.
The 14-piece fan feast at KFC. 14 original recipe or grilled drumsticks and thighs, 2 large mashed potatoes and gravy, 2 large coleslaw, and 6 biscuits, all just $20. Feed 6 for less than $3.50 each, with enough for leftovers. The 14-piece fan feast, just $20 at KFC.
Want to hit the ball farther and straighter? The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is the West's unquestioned leader in golf club fitting, offering the same technology used to fit tour pros.
We see it every day. Golfers that get fit score better and have more fun.
Since my club fitting at Hagen Oaks.
Since my club fitting at Hagen Oaks.
Since my club fitting at Hagen Oaks.
I'm hitting it 20 yards farther. 15 yards farther. 9 yards farther.
17 yards farther.
19 yards farther.
The Hagen Oaks professional staff will make you a better player too. Longer drives, lower scores, guaranteed.
You don't need to be a pro athlete to experience pain. Serious pain. The type of pain that can keep you on the sideline, possibly out of a job. When you got pain in your feet, back, legs, and hips, you need serious pain relief. You need to visit the Good Feet store.
Good Feet's 3-step system is designed to hold your foot in a more ideal position for pain-free comfort, balance, and support.
In Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Fairfield, or call 866-FIT-FEET today.
Stay in the game. For serious pain relief, get to the Good Feet store.
The 7-piece value meal for just $10 is back at KFC. 7 original recipe or grilled drumsticks and thighs, plus 2 large mashed potatoes and gravy, and 3 biscuits, all just $10. Now that's value. Don't cook tonight. Save on a 7-piece value meal, just $10 at KFC.
Edie Lambert and Walt Gray, tonight at 5 on KCRA 3.
Well, it's definitely a Pebble Beach that you have not seen before in the 4 previous U.S. Opens here and all the tournaments that have been played here. And this is one of the more dramatic changes. If you take a look at the par 4-8, that circled area you see out there is where the old fairway used to be, Johnny.
Yes, it's been moved to the right. You can see, and it rolls off to the right where the fairway is now. So if you hit a cut shot, hits the right center in this area, it's going to roll right off the cliff if you don't watch out. And it's already the toughest second shot in the world for a par 4.
And that's a live shot from the blimp. That's what it looks like now as they brought that fairway over some 20-25 yards.
What a hole now, huh?
Oh, you will see some balls head down the cliffs. Not only at 8, 9, and 10, the 4th hole. Just an example of some of the dramatic changes. And here's another place where they changed the fairway, Brad, at 6.
Well, they have, Dan. Yeah, they've moved it closer to the hazard as we watch Mickelson play his second shot. And that is going to be short left, and that is not a good miss with the hole location on the front left as we go to the 8th.
And this is the start of the famed Cliffs of Doom, the tough stretch here, Johnny, where you say you're going to see a lot happen, maybe for the worse for some players who might let it slip away along these cliffs.
The line is the White House to the strip. Right there is where you want to hit it.
Used to be an old aiming stone up there that used to,
more to the left,
mark the way to go, but not anymore.
You know, Jim Furyck's the kind of guy that'll just drip you to death, and this U.S. Open, it could be right up his alley, so to speak. Just keep it in play, keep shooting around par, and just let people fly off.
Hang around, hang around. 13.
David Toms, who had a very difficult third shot, Dottie. It looked like a terrible lie.
It was a terrible lie, Brad, but I think a smart play. He would have had no chance really to make this putt for par from above the hole, and not much chance to even keep it on the green anyway.
This is a slow putt back up the hill. There's a big difference between up and down the hill here in the speed.
Come on, guys.
Players are seeing that. Let's go up to 17.
And Soren Kelsen with his second.
I don't think he can get it inside of 15 feet. I might be wrong, but
he's bumping it up into the middle of that hourglass.
Well, he played the safe route. This will actually go back to the right now if it doesn't hang up. And he's just said, okay, I'll take my medicine 25 feet from the hole and pay the price for a poor tee shot.
So a long putt up coming for Kelsen for par.
And on the 3rd, we have Ben Martin, the amateur. He's 8 over par, but he's got a chance for a birdie here. Last year's U.S. amateur runner-up. That's a nice 3 for the young amateur. First birdie of the day. Had a bad heart condition as a kid and overcame that, and going to turn pro right after this week. Going to have to shoot better than that if he's going to turn pro. Let's go up to 8.
And this is the 3rd for Luke Donald. front of the green. Donald comes in as one of the hottest players in the world right now.
Great bunker player, probably the best bunker player in the world. Just makes it look easy. Mike Weir's not too shabby either.
Want golf updates whenever and wherever? Use NBC Sports Mobile. Get them right on your cell phone. Just text the word golf to 51515. The letters GOLF to 51515. Back at 17 for the long par putt for Kelson.
Slow putt up the hill.
Danger of losing another stroke here.
Yeah, not a lot of break here. Takes a big backswing, huge backswing to just get it to the hole.
Oh, he nearly saved it. But that'll be another drop shot. 4 drop shots in the last 7 holes for Kelson, who was 3 under through the first 10. Over to 14.
Ian Poulter, now you get a good look at the options you have on 14 if you miss the
Better
green.
get up.
Yeah, you can see Johnny right. He better hurry and mark better. It's coming back to him.
Oh, they made it by about an inch.
That's the break of the green right there, John, where you have to be left, players left on your 3rd shot coming up, or it rolls all the way back down. Let's go up to 8.
And Zach Johnson with a good birdie look here at 8.
Good round so far. He's hanging right in there. That's what you want to do. The first round of the U.S. Open is by far the most important, because you got to battle those opening nerves and just sort of get your momentum going. And a lot of guys blow themselves right out of the championship. Oh, he's right.
Johnson also in good form, winning earlier this year. And so he should stay at even. And a look at Mike Weir, who really hasn't played great this year. 1 top 10. He was 6th at the Hope as you take a look at his card.
Be interesting to see if he makes that Marshall move that's on the bill of his cap, because he likes to play a draw.
Look at this run here on the back. His last 4 events, 3 missed cuts in 4 tries. So Mike Weir finding it at a good time. He turned 40 years old last month. And again, the first round leader at Bethpage last year after a 64 on Thursday.
So 4 right here, and there's the flag stick right there. And this hole is as tough as it looks. 222, and that's looking left. Is it going to come back? Oh man, that
way
is,
left.
That is really down there. He's hit 9 out of 17 greens today, if you can imagine, and he's 3 under par. How's your short game, lefty?
To 6 to another lefty.
Yeah, and let's see how his short game is here. Short-sided, has to land on the downslope. Beautiful touch. You mentioned Mike Weir just turned 40 recently. Well, Phil Mickelson turned 40 yesterday. Let's go to 17.
And KJ Choi.
See him aiming to the right. He's aiming quite a bit right. You better come back, otherwise you got that impossible shot. As he's trying to make it go left.
Pretty good.
In the bunker.
Yeah, not at a good spot. They probably can't get from there, I don't think, inside of 6 to 10 feet.
Again, Choi battling back from a +3 start in the first 2 holes. And Ricky Barnes at the par 3 5th for birdie, the runner-up at Bethpage.
Tough putt to read right here. It's so hard to read it. Most guys will miss it left, but he knows it.
And that's what got Barnes into this championship, that runner-up finish, and he has played well as of late. Has contended a couple of times and has some newfound confidence. Back on track. Over to the 8th for the 2nd for Furyk.
The greatest second shot in golf, according to Jack Nicklaus. Of course, it sets up for his fade. That helps. And that's a very good lead, but a very slow putt with a big left to right break.
And to 14.
Ian Poulter now for his par. I don't care how many times you play this hole, it's hard to read this green. John, how many times have you played here?
Oh man, hundreds of times, but I did birdie it 11 straight times that hole.
It's hard to read that green. Mike Weir, our leader at 3 under. Ian Poulter's going to drop a shot at 14. KJ Choi right on his tail. What a beautiful day here. First round, U.S. Open action.
We gave it the power of a supercar. Then we gave it the precision of a Lexus. And in turn, wrote a new definition of what's possible for an automobile. This is the pursuit of the impossible. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Camera with wide-angle lens, $300. Identical camera with identical lens, 30% off on MasterCard Marketplace.
Wait, how much?
Ibuprofen, $12. X-ray, $90. Chiropractor, $200.
I'm okay.
A smarter way to shop online, priceless. Introducing MasterCardMarketplace.com, your personalized shopping experience with the things you want for less.
John Hancock, the future is yours. Visit findtheanswers.com.
Can't make it to the U.S. Open this year? Go to the official championship website at usopen.com from now until the final putt. Follow all the action with live HD video coverage and exclusive real-time scoring, including the new interactive play tracker. Get all the excitement of the 110th U.S. Open Championship at Pebble Beach. usopen.com. Your ticket to golf's national championship.
Welcome back at the 6th. Phil Mickelson with a chance for his first birdie of the day. That's about the 4th short putt we've seen him miss.
That was a huge push.
Yeah.
And Tiger Woods making his way to the driving range, teeing off in less than 10 minutes from now with Lee Westwood and Ernie Els, the author of the greatest performance we've ever seen 10 years ago on this course. But as you know, a lot has changed since. Back over to 17. Weir's second.
Taking a big swing ball way forward, taking a chance. Leaves himself really a nice putt if you're going to be 14 feet.
But to say an hour and 10 minutes for Tiger's tee time. So those of you who are rushing to settle in for Tiger, hour in 10 minutes or so.
Only 22 putts for Weir so far on greens that are running 13 plus, and U.S. Open pressure. That's a wowzer.
Over to that beautiful 7th.
It's just 7. It's just such a wonderful hole. It's really, I think, the easiest hole in the course if you're just trying to make it 3. But that's a little asterisk unless the wind starts kicking up, and then it gets real interesting. 106 yards of fun.
Bai Yang's off a birdie on number 6 with his lob wedge. One of the better shots we've seen, and Johnny, that's a tough pin to get it close to with a right to left wind.
Yeah, that's true. It's easy to make 3, but it's very hard to make 2.
And up above from the 7th with our pinpoint animation has to be the most photographed hole in golf and the most beautiful hole. Like Johnny said, it's the perfect place to have a golf green right here, and you can see the undulations and where the flag, since it's the second smallest green on the course, and where the hole is located is right on a little nose from that bunker, kicks a lot of balls away to the left. The 11th green is the smallest, and again on the left side of the tee, Padraig Harrington, and we have seen only lob wedges here today, and some of the players that spin the ball a lot will hit it by the flag, and it can come back, but most of them are getting it right about pin high.
Pretty hard to keep it on line with a flag stick. Most guys are going to pull it.
Well, that's a little bit of a cut there, Johnny, and that's pretty good.
Yeah, those are great shots on line. That takes some guts to hit at that flag with a hook wind.
Now Rolf Mickelson's seen 2 shots, but he's a lefty, a little different look at it for a lefty.
Well, it is. It's got to be a draw for Phil. Obviously, the wind is getting stronger by the moment. I'm going to say it's probably 15 to 20 here right now, so it is not an easy shot.
You know, he's just gone through the holes on the golf course where he really needed to pick up a few holes, Rolf, and his stroke just looks like there's no rhythm on it.
This one needs to get down.
Wow, that's some spin there, guys.
You hit it on the upslope on that second bounce, and we'll have a chance for birdie, but longer putt into the wind. This hole is really exposed out there, where the wind plays a huge part in how you make your putts, both speed and your line. Let's go over to 17.
And this was KJ Choi a moment ago from the bunker.
Only way you can get it close is hang it in the rough and trickle it out.
There's a big swipe at it, and there it is, running away. But
I mean, landed the ball an inch short of the green in the soft fringe, and it still went by that far.
Back over to 8 for Jim Furyk's long birdie look.
Now, this putt is slower than you think, and it does really go right at the end. What a putt. That was a heck of a putt, Jim Furyk.
Talk about all of Mickelson's close U.S. Open misses. Furyk has been very close after winning this championship in 2003 after a second title. Weird 17 for par.
So hooking putt. Will he get it there? Oh. It took a look and said, nope, I don't want to go down there.
So Weir with a bogey. And he falls back to 2 under. Get a tie for the lead.
Still a great round he's having. And an 18th hole is a birdie hole if you play it correctly.
So there's the tie with KJ Choi, Poulter, Toms in that group at 1 under. And this 110th U.S. Open Championship is being brought to you by MasterCard. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. By John Hancock, the future is yours. And by Lexus, this is the pursuit of the impossible. This is the pursuit of perfection. And back out to 17 for Choi, who's trying to stay tied with Weir at 2 under now.
Not a hard putt. Just played too much break, and well, if he hit it softly, that was the right line.
So even though Weir bogeys it, he stays in the lead by himself, and there is Lee Westwood, probably playing the best golf of anybody in the world, especially in the big ones, coming off his first PGA Tour win since '98. Recently here in Memphis, coming in right next to Tiger, and they'll be paired together with Ernie Els.
You think we'll be watching that group?
1:36 local time, just a little more than an hour from now. And if you look back to Tiger's 2000 U.S. Open victory by 15 shots, it was Ernie Els in the tie for second at +3, and then you had Lee Westwood just a little ways back in the tie for 5th. Out to the 7th.
Has not made a birdie yet. It's only happened twice in his career, both times at Oakmont in the first round of the U.S. Open. So he's it's hard to believe, because Pebble does have birdie holes if you play them right. There's about 6 of them that you can sort of count on having a good chance on.
Over at 16, Scott Verplank with a very good opportunity for a birdie. Yeah, very nice. So Scott Verplank to +1. Go up to 17.
This was a moment ago Tim Clark, who made a beautiful tee shot in here.
This moves about 6 inches left.
Yeah. And you can make a 2 at 17. Only the second birdie at 17 today.
Wow, that's a head shaker.
Zach Johnson had the other one. And over to 14.
Dottie, what's David looking at here?
He has 98 yards after 2 really good shots to get to this point, Peter.
Well, I think this is the smart way to play 14. I think you need to push it as far down as you can on your second shot to give you the shortest third shot. I think he's probably got a pitching wedge, doesn't he?
Yes, sir.
That's correct. It's 98 yards, as I've said. He actually played a driver and that little hybrid that's 21 degrees. It kind of takes the place of a 2-iron for his second.
Is that straight back into the wind, Peter and Dottie?
It's crossed.
Definitely.
A little bit from the left, but you have a chance to see that big lip on that front bunker. It's so deceiving on this third shot.
That was the breeze.
Just plays 6 to 7 yards uphill and
cannot hit in that bunker. It usually buries.
Oh, that bunker is 7 feet deep. Unless you can't see hardly see the flag unless you're Yao Ming, and he'd have missed qualifying.
How about this, Dan? Is this pretty or what?
Nah, the world-famous par 5, 543 yards, and there's been some changes here as well.
Yes, that bunker on the right, 248. The first tree is possibly in play. It's back into the wind today. You want to lay up right where we are now in a front light hole location, which is perfect for Mike Weir's little trap draw. So I see him making birdie right here.
Okay, and he is on the tee. Weir, who's had good success here at Pebble Beach through the years.
This drive could be a little dicey for his hook. He's sort of looking. Let me see where his eyes are looking. I think he's looking like not drawing it right at that tree, but got to keep from hooking it on the right rough. Yeah, I was afraid of that. I got thinking after I said he's going to make a birdie, then thinking, well, that hook doesn't play too well on this hole with a lefty.
It's some of the thickest rough on the course. Right of the fairway at 18.
Playing
KJ
over.
Choi steps in.
Playing over par today, which 5 bars don't play over par, folks. 5.28 average. Only 6 birdies, so that's amazing. Half the field's been through here pretty much.
The USGA has a bit of fun at times with its pairings. Not computerized draw. They painstakingly go over the groups and group them in interesting ways as Choi finds the fairway there.
That takes guts. Then you got a squadron of butterflies in your stomach when you're on that tee. I'll tell you, you're thinking of all kinds of things: rocks, ocean, blocking it, big slice, OB, all these real wonderful thoughts.
So you got Weir at 5'9", Clark at 5'7", and Choi at 5'8", all there in that group playing the long 18th. Back to 7.
Phil Mickelson with his short putt for par. Both Harrington and Yang made par. Phil Mickelson 4 over par the first round of the U.S. Open. He needs to hang in there. Mike Weir on top, playing the last. We'll be right back.
The CIA cover-up
Information has always been need to know.
is not the event. I am the president. I need to know.
We may have a problem. He's going to tell them about the event.
A collection of treasures lies between these bumpers. Legendary engines, industry gold, awards out the tailpipe, and world-class warranties to back it all up. Sounds like you just hit the jackpot.
Who knew dancing could be so tough and so painful? The challenge is getting rid of the pain and getting back on your feet pain-free. So if you're ready for some serious pain relief, get to the Good Feet store.
Good Feet's 3-step system is designed to support your foot with every step, putting it in its ideal position and relieving stress to your whole body, which can help you live pain-free.
With 5 locations, there's one near you. Call 866-FIT-FEET today.
Start feeling good again? Get to the Good Feet store.
So what did you think of the book?
Well, I didn't read it. I just come for the Papa Murphy's Delight pizzas.
Didn't read it either. I love the crispy crust. Me too.
Papa Murphy's Thin Crust Delight pizzas are that good. Always made fresh before your eyes with the finest ingredients on cracker-thin crust that has 40% fewer calories. Now get any pepperoni, meat, or veggie Delight pizza for $6.99. Handmade, home-baked. That's Papa Murphy's.
Receive over $160 in Golf Land Sunsplash discounts with every pizza purchase.
Mark Finance, tonight at 6 on KCRA 3.
Welcome back to Pebble Beach. 110th U.S. Open continues. Out to David Toms at 14.
Totally doable bunker shot off the upslope.
Got a nice break being on that upslope too, Dottie.
He certainly did. It was a very clean line.
Most of the balls that we've seen in there today have been burying. Let's go to 9.
Where Luke Donald has a very lengthy putt for a birdie. This is his final hole of the day. He started his round on number 10.
Does anybody ever get into the hole here?
Well, it is slow, Johnny, up the slope and against the grain and everything,
well,
but that's nicely done.
I'll get him. That would have gone in.
Yeah, very nice round of 71 for Luke Donald. We go ahead to 18.
And Mike Weir in the thick rough.
Good news, he doesn't have to deal with those 2 cypress trees that have been planted there and are getting bigger by the moment. But this is a very muffy line. He's going with the hybrid, so this could squirt crooked. This is no gimme. He's going to hit a chunk and run is what he's going to hit, I think.
Remember at Bethpage, he was magical with that hybrid in New York last year, but this time he's gone rough to rough, although that's sitting up a bit.
That was a very poor choice right there. That lie was way too wet to hit that club. He needed like a 6 or 7 iron, and just again, and then he'd have a 6 or 7 to the green, which is not bad with his hook.
Over to 12.
Where we find young amateur Andrew Putnam with a chance for a birdie. 21-year-old who plays at Pepperdine, qualified in a 4-player playoff in the sectional qualifying for just 1 spot. He made a birdie and got it. As we go over to 3.
Craig Barlow in the fairway here on the 3rd hole. Oh, I'm sorry, the green here. Putt for birdie. To get him to 1 under par. Las Vegas boy who qualified. Hasn't been playing much this year on the PGA Tour.
Over at the 9th, Zach Johnson, yeah, for a par. Brad was over the green with his 2nd pitch to there. Amazingly, Zach Johnson's best finish in a U.S. Open is a tie for 45th. That is incredible to me. You'd think his game would set up much better for this championship as we see an opening round of 72. Over to 15.
Ian Poulter for birdie. Very first time the flamboyant man from England has seen Pebble Beach. And he said he bypassed playing it earlier this year, the regular PGA Tour event, because he knew it was just set up so differently. And over to the scenic 9th.
Well, that is Jim Furyk and his faithful caddy Mike Fluff Cowan. They're discussing the situation, and well, what a different hole this becomes, Johnny, when you can't drive it far enough to take advantage of that last downslope. I mean, Furyk is back on top of the hill with probably a 4 or 5 iron to the green.
Is he at in the start of the downslope where the ball's below your feet and a slightly downhill line? Or not bad?
Well, it's definitely slightly downhill and side hill, ball below his feet. You can see all the times on the bottom of your screen are local Pacific times.
Got to be careful. Right here, folks, is really dead. That stuff is over a foot high, and then that bunker on that you don't see right here is super deep and can bury. So this is a dangerous shot, isn't it, on a slider lie?
It is, especially you know, if you try to land the ball short of the green, it wants to kick hard left into that bunker or hard right into the hazard. So not an easy shot.
Hard, man. Hit it hard. Hit it hard. Hit it hard.
For the wind to get it. And it does, and that's okay.
Up against that collar.
Yeah, but a lot worse places he could be, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was a good shot.
Ahead to 14.
David Toms now for his par. Dottie, this should go just a little bit left. And another victim here on 14. 14 is the 3rd hardest hole so far, John.
Bad 3rd shot he hit there. He really did. He, you know, to come up that far short.
MetLife has today's round covered end to end with one-of-a-kind shots from the Snoopy 2 airship. Whether you're tackling the hazards of the course or the uncertainties of life, MetLife has the unique perspective to keep you on course. Beautiful view there.
Yeah, like the blimp says, Peter, there's a lot of ifs out here. I can tell you that right now.
Let's go up to 18.
Mike Weir in the thick of it here. Line 2, getting ready for his 3rd, although the lie, as we mentioned earlier, appears to be not too bad. He has the lead by 1 at the moment.
When he only hit that hybrid, I don't think he hit it 80 yards. I mean, he got a long ways to the hole. So now he's got to say, do I try to squeeze it in there between the bunker and the ocean, or do I pretend it was my driver?
He's gone to that club again, this trusty hybrid. Well,
I think it's a layup. I think it's just a layup and a great wedge, and then try to make a hard 5.
Maybe that's what he's being talked into.
It's tough to make you do that, but that's what he's got. But he's not much farther than a Dustin Johnson tee shot. And he doesn't have the Dustin Johnson power.
So he's gone from the hybrid to this iron.
That's a layup, right?
He's laying it up instead of going for it.
You can imagine, folks, there's a big Monterey pine right up the green here, and they moved that cypress in. It must have weighed 50, I don't know, 100,000 pounds, and somehow they got it in here. But it made the hole. That tree you see just right of the green. Guys that go for the green, you would pan out to this big, beautiful cypress that they moved in. This is amazing to move a tree that size in place of that old Monterey pine that died with the pitch canker disease.
One of the arborist wonders of the world. Relocation of that. Second for Mickelson on the way at 8. Right over the stick.
Wow, what a shot.
And it stays on the collar.
That's got a big break, but that was a beautiful shot.
This is the second to last hole for Mickelson, who will finish up at the 9th. And, you know, you'd think with his history here, most national Pro-Am wins here at Pebble with 3, only eclipsed by Mark O'Meara. You, Johnny, we mentioned winning in 3 different decades. The only one to do that, other than you, was Sam Snead. So there is a familiarity for players here. But again, it plays so much different in the U.S. Open than it does in a regular stop.
There's something special about winning at Pebble, I can tell you that.
Tiger did that in 2000, and it has been 10 years since Tiger's record assault here on Pebble Beach in that Open, and it is still hard to put it in perspective and just how incredible that week was. But amid the dozen-plus U.S. Open records that he set, he never had a 3-putt, never missed a putt inside 8 feet, and it wasn't just the short game. He became the only player to lead the field in driving distance and win the U.S. Open. He averaged 299 yards on his drives while hitting 73% of the fairways that week. That was 14th in the field. He also led the field in greens and regulations. 6-shot lead after 36, 10-shot lead after 54 holes on his way to the eventual 15-shot victory, a record for any major. And at the time, Johnny, we all told ourselves we've probably seen the best week ever, and it's still holding true.
It is. I mean, Tiger wants to believe that he was better after that year, but in my opinion, that was the top of his career, year 2000.
First of a record 4 major titles in a row, as he held them all at that point. In Tiger's words, he described that week, he says, "I was in my own little world." It was absolutely incredible to see.
That much, 90? Yeah.
Back at the par 5 18th, we've got KJ Choi's third.
It's just tough to get it close because that wind is kicking it away from the flag, and so is the spin. This green is firm. He can get it close if he's gutsy enough. That's pretty much what most guys are doing. They're afraid of leaving it short, but that is not a bad putt. It's very fast with a lot of slice on it.
Back to 6.
Ricky Barnes with a chance for the first eagle of the day at the par 5. It is playing as the easiest hole on the course, and Ricky Barnes goes birdie, eagle at 4, 5, and 6 and moves himself to even par for the championship.
Is it time for another Barnes U.S. Open run, Gary?
Certainly could be. He's playing much more consistently this year, Dan. He's already had 5 top 10 finishes in 16 starts on the PGA Tour, so he comes in playing quite well. As we go to the 9th, and Jim Furyk, this is slow. Oh, it hopped.
That's where a local caddy could really help you, or just pass knowledge, and everybody leaves that 6-8 feet short.
Up at 18.
The 4th for Mike Weir.
That was a smart third, though. He was almost beguiled into trying a Mickle-esque, I will call it, shot. He's a great wedge player, but that green is hard, and that's got a chance, huh? The way he's putting with 24 putts so far.
Could be back-to-back bogeys to end Weir's first round, though. We'll see. He does have a shot at par, as does Furyk at 9.
Small Will actually turn a little left. Oh. So bogey from the edge of the green, and Jim Furyk will finish at +1, 72 in his opening round.
So many things going on in this U.S. Open, so many details to get to. If we can't fill it up for you here, you can go to the U.S. Open wrap-up presented by Lexus, which comes your way live on NBCSports.com at the conclusion of today's championship coverage. Winds freshening here in the afternoon at Pebble Beach. Just 5 players under par right now. You see them all there on the mini leaderboard. And over at the 8th, Mickelson from the collar for birdie. Mark?
Well, it's going to be very quick. It is back into the wind, so that'll slow it up a little bit. The putter has not cooperated at all for Phil yet.
There's a lot to the left. Mark, when's the last time you covered Phil Mickelson without a birdie?
I can't ever remember doing that, Johnny. Never.
Last round without a birdie or better, 2007. First round.
Oakmont.
In the U.S. Open, we'll emphasize.
Well, you can't expect a birdie 8 or 9, can you, Mark?
No, you really can't. I mean, 9's playing downwind, but it's still not easy.
Barnes at the 7th.
Barnes red hot. Eagle in the 6th, and as Gary just said, he's played so consistently well, and he's played well in a lot of different tournaments. He was in top 10 at the Masters in different courses. He was exciting to watch last year at Bethpage as well. These kids for real.
I think he's got half of Fresno here at Pebble Beach.
And he's got his brother back on the bag. We can hear talking to him, Brad. It's a very calming influence. He doesn't caddy a lot for Ricky anymore, but talking to him earlier this week, he said, I'm back on the bag, especially after what we did at Bethpage last year, so maybe a little unfinished business for the brothers Barnes.
Well, like everybody else, he's got a lob wedge here, Dan.
Oh, sit down.
Pretty big swing, wasn't it, Johnny?
Yeah, his brother's saying, sit down, it's going to be all right.
He got the same bounce that Mickelson got. We'll have a longer putt back into the wind. It won't be a hard putt to make. Let's go up to 16.
Ian Poulter playing his second shot, left center of the fairway. Hard to get the distance right here. You're playing back downhill, but the wind now coming up a little bit into the players from the right. And you don't want to go long. Players know that. So he will have a lengthy putt for birdie. It's going to go to 15.
David Toms set up in the fairway at 15, Dottie.
A downhill lie, 132 yards, 8-iron.
How's it look?
It's a second big miss to the right in the last 3 holes.
And over to 18, par putt, big bender from left to right on the way for Mike Weir. And it's going to be a bogey finish for Weir after he made 4 birdies in a span of 6 holes.
Well, he had the double 2-shot swinger at 16. Looked like he should bogey it, made birdie. So when you come in after that finish, you think, well, I picked up 2 there, so not that bad.
And back to 8, par for Mickelson. It remains at +4. He's got 1 hole left to try to pick up his first birdie, but it's at the 9th, one of the most difficult holes here, where he'll try to get it. He is 6 behind. And now Choi for birdie for the outright lead.
Sneaky quick, this putt. If he tries to make it, he could go 5 feet by. It slides right, probably 1.5 feet. That's cozy. Cozy's good.
So Choi in with an opening 1 under 70, and it's really good, Johnny, especially when he started +3 in the first 2 holes. Really battled back.
He hit more greens today than anyone in the first half of the field. 14 out of 18. That is, yeah, you know, he's just a solid player. He could be there, definitely could be there Sunday afternoon with a great chance to win the United States Open.
So Cabrera, Bello, and Choi both at 1 under, in with their 70s. Most entries, only trailing the entry list, which totaled 9,086 last year at the Black Course. is Pebble Beach in 2010. And back at 18, Clark for his par. This for a round of 72.
It's always nerve-wracking to make a putt on the last green. You just want to get in. You don't want to miss one and walk in with that miss on your mind. Unusual grip split.
Safely in. Not bad for the man that broke through at the Players Championship earlier this year. Keep it right here for Weir's bogey putt.
Nice round though. Makes this nice little smooth 70 to match Choi's. A good group, huh? 72, 70, 70.
How about the way everybody's kind of come back? You had Kelson making an earlier run. You had Weir at one point at 3 under. He's in at 1 under, and all of a sudden, the best you've got is 1 under in 3 times, and out on the course is Barlow and Poulter trying to improve on it.
So I'll tell you what, at this rate, it's going to be over par winning the championship.
It appears that way, and that doesn't look like a good line for David Toms.
It certainly isn't. It's just a classic fried egg, and you're going to get these around here if you float those short irons up in the air.
Toms finished tied for 14th at the Masters, so he was prolonging taking care of a bone spur in his rotator cuff that is going to eventually here require surgery, but he's kind of putting it off because he's been playing well.
I spoke with this caddy, and he said he's trying to put it off as long as possible. It's his right shoulder.
Oh, that just barely got out.
I was going to say, I don't think you can hit the green from there. The best he could have done was the back edge.
Well, we said it was firm and fast. Pebble Beach is a beautiful place to play golf, but it is one tough track on this opening Thursday at the 110th United States Open.
My grandfather got me into the game right from the start.
My husband felt that I would enjoy the game.
My dad introduced me to golf. My name is Bobby. Trevor.
My name is Annie.
I play a Pro V1X. Consistency in a golf ball is very simply knowing what to expect.
When the Pro V1 lands on the green, it has enough spin to stop.
I've tried the other golf balls that are out there, and nothing compares. My dad and I really had some fun together growing up.
I really enjoy the game, and now I have introduced my son to golf.
Tell us your story at Titleist.com.
We gave it the power of a supercar. Then we gave it the precision of a Lexus. And in turn, wrote a new definition of what's possible for an automobile. This is the pursuit of the impossible. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Spotting smart investments these days takes perspective. It takes digging deeper and looking closer to find opportunities in any market cycle. They're out there if you know where to look. Mutual Series Funds, a leader in value investing for over 60 years. Franklin Templeton Investments, gain from our perspective. Ask your advisor for a prospectus with investment goals, risks, fees, expenses, and other information to read and consider carefully before investing.
This is just gonna pass right on through. Okay. Because we are golfing today, my friend. Give it 10 minutes, it's gonna be a drizzle. Letting up. It's hardly raining now. Where are you going?
If you share this, well, unquenchable passion for the game of golf, become a member of the USGA.
You're single?
Visit usga.org today to learn more.
Tennis's ultimate test of excellence, the championships, Wimbledon, coming June 26th to NBC.
U.S. Open Championship has slipped through the fingers of Phil Mickelson a record 5 times through the years. Runner-up, looking to finally win this championship at the age of 40. And off to a +4 start as he plays his final hole, the treacherous par 4 9th.
You can see he's aiming down the left edge of the fairway with a going 3 medal with a hook.
About 300 yards, Johnny, to the top of the hill, and if it gets a little farther than that, it will race down the hill, but the problem is it races to the right.
Yeah, that's a good spot, though.
Yeah, it is. It probably will just catch the intermediate cut of rough, but no real issue there whatsoever, and a very good angle.
Tiger getting ready to go out. He'll go over to the putting green after leaving the range, and over to Ian Poulter.
And his lengthy birdie putt, chance to move to 2 under. Slow, big break to the left.
He could win without too much of an upset.
I would agree. John certainly has the game. A big win earlier in the year in the WGC match play event.
And Ian Poulter knows all about the traditions of Wimbledon over in England. Next Saturday, don't miss reigning champion Roger Federer. You've got Rafael Nadal and more. It's the ultimate test of excellence in tennis. The Championships Wimbledon, part of NBC Sports Championship season, next Saturday, noon Eastern time only on NBC. Out to 15, where David Toms is racking them up. This is his 4th shot. This was a moment ago.
High skill level there. What a shot.
That is a beauty.
That is touch.
So he ended up making a bogey. So Toms with 3 bogeys in a row now. After he was at 2 under, he all of a sudden is at +1. And over to Barnes at 7.
Ricky Barnes with his putt to get in that 5-way tie for the lead. They give it a wrap here into the wind. Good pace. A good putt. Barnes, when he was on the 3rd hole, was in 50th place. Now 1 shot back. Let's go to number 1.
Talk about guys on form. Graham McDowell. This is his 2nd shot at the par 4 first. Just won at Celtic Manor, the site of the upcoming Ryder Cup in October. Good player from Northern Ireland. And McDowell is in there tight.
Good spin
to begin his day. And another guy to look at, Ernie Els, a couple of wins this season playing with Westwood and Tiger.
Leading money winner, and see if he can have a good open.
He was a part of that way back tie for 2nd in 2000. And you see Mike Weir, who finished at 1 under. He's with Jimmy Roberts.
All right, Dan, thanks very much. And as advertised, Mike Weir, you've played a number of these U.S. Opens. This is obviously a very, very special place. Give us some kind of sense as to how hard this open course is compared to others.
Well, I think, you know, it's very, very firm. I mean, it was as firm as I've ever seen an Open early in the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And, you know, today there was a few shots, you know, playing early that were a little bit softer. But, you know, with even that 10-mile-an-hour, 12-mile-an-hour breeze out there, the course is really firming up. So, and if you hit it in the rough, it plays extremely difficult.
All right, good day for you. Turned in 35. Let's take a look at some of your highlights, and we pick it up at the 12th hole, the par 3, playing 210 yards. That's obviously your 2nd shot here.
Yeah, I hit a nice 3-iron in there, cut 3-iron into the wind, and you know, there was a putt that had a little speed, but found the bottom. About that hole, that is where I really sensed the speed of the greens really start picking up.
And this is on the 13th with that new 13th. Back tee.
Yeah, and I hit a nice 5-iron in there underneath the hole. You can keep it underneath the hole in this golf course. You know, you can be a little more aggressive on your putting.
And this is something we're not going to see an awful lot of this week. A putt for birdie at 14, yes. I think. This is a difficult hole. 3rd most difficult today.
Yes, it's there's another putt that had a little steam, but found the bottom. But you know, that's probably the most difficult 3rd shot in a par 5 in golf that I can recall.
And here's your highlight for the day at 16.
Yeah, this is a definite highlight. I was just hoping to get it somewhere within you know, maybe 10, 12 feet underneath the hole, and it, you know, went dead center, so I got a little lucky there.
All right, that point 3 under par, of course, the 2 closing bogeys. You have done very, very well here at Pebble Beach in the AT&T. Clearly, it's a very, very different course, but is there any carryover about the venue itself, something that does something for you?
I think so. I think anytime you love a place and you've had some great scores, I've shot some great scores here, even though the course is a lot different. And I've been here long enough that I played the 2000 Open. So
tie for 16th?
Yeah, I remember that golf course and the way it was set up. So yeah, I think anytime you have success somewhere, it can carry over.
All right, Mike, good round from you today. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Jimmy.
All right, out to 9.
Where Phil Mickelson will be playing his 2nd shot. 168 yards to the hole. Good angle. I would think Johnny downwind, take a 9-iron, just hoist it way up in the air, see if you can get it to stop.
Yeah, he had it tracking. It's a great shot.
That's beautiful. Underneath the hole, that's very makeable from there.
There's a little more break to the left than the guys are picking up, though.
over at the first.
McDowell to see if he can pick up an opening birdie.
This is not an easy putt. It moves pretty good left.
You want to try to get yours while you can early at Pebble Beach.
That's a very fine putt because that breaks a lot. That broke 6-7 inches.
So he joins the group at 1 under and ahead at 2.
This is young Morgan Hoffman, amateur, who plays at Oklahoma State. Was actually the Phil Mickelson Award winner last year, named the Freshman of the Year in NCAA golf. This for a birdie at the second. And he starts par birdie. So coming here right off of the NCAA championships last week, where Oklahoma State got beat by Augusta State. He's tied for the lead as we go to 17.
And Stuart Sink not off to a good start. This was a moment ago for the British Open champion. So that's a bit of a bright spot, but that to go along with 3 double bogeys by Sink. That gets him back to +6, and back on the tee is Ian Poulter in that big group at 1 under.
What's he doing down there?
Says the only time he saw Pebble Beach was on his PlayStation. Again, a lot of these U.S. Open venues, at least in Poulter's case, he doesn't see for the very first time until he arrives at the U.S. Open. It was the same at Shinnecock a few years back when they had it in 2004.
I remember a few of the Europeans last time the Open was here. They were saying, "Oh, Pebble Beach is overrated. It wasn't playing that hard on Monday and Tuesday." And all of a sudden, how many guys broke par that year?
To look at the small percentage in the 2000 U.S. Open to find this green in regulation, less than 20%. That's the objective of the man in pink and plaid.
This is as tough a shot as you'll ever play right here. You could have more wind to be harder, but that's a small target.
Makes you appreciate that 1-iron for Nicklaus on his way to victory back in '72.
222. I think he likes it.
Oh, it hops out of there.
I don't even know how that did that.
That is amazing.
Is there a turtle down there or what?
It looked like it might have been buried in the bunker the way it was sliding down there. Here's a look from above. I don't know if it hit the sand or not, or just the rough in front. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man,
just
made
the
it by
edge of
about
it.
an inch. And it got a big hop, which is unusual. Usually it'll just bounce back in the bunker or hang right there. So that's a break.
At the edge of that fescue, it just kicked it the other way.
And over at the 9th, Mark, a makeable putt here for Mickelson. See if he can make 1 birdie for the round.
Well, you know, Gary, every shot in the U.S. Open is important, but I think this one is extra important. If he could somehow get it in, have a totally different mindset, you know, going into the scoring trailer.
He spent a lot of time with his putting guru, Dave Stockton, last week. Is it firm enough?
Oh, I had it red right, Gary.
Yes, he did.
That's an ouch round. All that preparation, Gary.
Yeah, he was here quite a bit over the course of the 10 days prior to the championship, that's for sure. And opens with a 4 over par 75. We'll move over to the 6th. This was just a moment ago. Jason Duffner with his 3rd here at the par 5. Pretty creative little bump and run. He would go on to make that putt to get to 1 under par and tie for the lead. 6th hole, the par 5, playing as the easiest hole on the golf course, the only hole playing under par. And surprising scoring here in the opening round of the 110th U.S. Open Championship. 1 under par leads. There were many who thought that with the morning conditions, breeze down, green slightly softer, that we might see some better scoring, but that has not been the case. We'll be back with more first round action in just a moment.
Didn't your mother teach you girls shouldn't play with guns?
Whoever said Annie needed a gun?
My mother died when I was 8, so no.
Chase, Mondays this fall on NBC.
for daily weather in the Central Valley.
KCRA 3 Weather Plus meteorologist Eileen Javora has the best tools, resources, and experience to alert you on all weather information.
3 to go. 3 essential things you need to know about tomorrow's weather. Get the next 12-hour forecast so you can plan your day. The KCRA 3 morning 7-day forecast with your weekend always in view.
KCRA 3 Weather Plus meteorologist Eileen Javora. Tomorrow from 4:30 to 7 a.m. on KCRA 3.
You're watching KCRA 3, where the news comes first.
Ricky Barnes' second shot at the par 4-8 at even par, 1 back.
It is playing sort of downwind, slightly left to right, so it's setting up. The wind's great for the shot, but over respects it, but not bad. But what a hellacious putt this is going to be. That is one tough putt. You have a tough 10. He knows it. He knows that that is a crazy spot to putt from.
Up ahead to 9.
Padraig Harrington with a chance for closing birdie and gets it. Very nice. So Harrington with just the 5th birdie of the day here at the 9th hole, and an opening round of 73, and if the score's not that low, certainly not out of it. Let's go over to the first.
And Tom Lehman just getting things going here, coming off his big victory at the Senior PGA Championship out in Colorado. And of course, Tom played in the final group 4 years in a row in this U.S. Open Championship, qualified for another chance here.
It's a great angle, but could be juicy, this lie. This lie looked pretty wet and like a goer. And he over-respects it on purpose, like a veteran that he is, and leaves himself underneath the hole. Very smart shot to underclub.
You know, Lehman, in talking about his chances here, he says, I know how to get around a U.S. Open golf course. So, and Pebble Beach is his favorite course. Over to 7.
Jason Duffner with his birdie putt. See if he can get to 2 under. Just pulled it a little bit. Stays in that tie for the lead. And MetLife helping us out today with aerial coverage is the MetLife blimp. Find out how MetLife can help you prepare for tomorrow with a personal safety net for all the ifs in life. Nice to be up there today. Look at that. Wow. Is that gorgeous? What a great place to watch. See the spectators there in the stands, and all they can see is that one shot all day long. But that is a heck of a place to be.
Yeah, it is a wonderful coastline here.
That's Johnny, my favorite course in the world.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
I think definitely mine.
This was a moment ago. Henrik Stenson, second at 17.
Not too bad a spot, really. Not bad at all. Good lead, too.
Yeah, he handles it well. Chance to remain at +3 for Stenson, who was in the same group with Ian Poulter, who was at 1 under and got that great bounce off the edge of the bunker. Here's a guy, Johnny, who you'd think could be in it to the very end as well. He's flirted with a couple of major championships in the past. British Open, U.S. Open, he's been in it on the weekend.
Those are some amazing shoes. I think he got them from Elton John.
Elton John could be considered subdued next to Ian Poulter's some of his outfits. But then again, maybe not.
This will move left. Birdie putt. It's a pretty good swinger. Not a putt you make too often. Looks good. Just didn't hit it.
Still a 3 after where his ball seemed to be heading. Looks very good on his card. Just 1 hole left. Maybe he can join Choi and Weir in it. Red numbers in the clubhouse here. With just a par 5 left. Poulter, the winner at the match play championship earlier this year. And at 18, Matt Kuchar, who's having an incredible 2010 season. A birdie for him gets him back to +3 at 74. And with the way Pebble's been playing today, it is something to smile about, because it is tough. No one better than that 1 under number. on this opening round Thursday at Pebble Beach.
Round of golf for Boo Weekly, his dad, his buddy Toggy, and Arnold Palmer. $240.
You're going to have to hide the women and children when he gets up here. Look out! Hey, yeah. Good here. Yeah! Is that how you used to do it right there? I didn't know tour pros put divots back.
The perfect foursome.
Very good.
Priceless.
Thank you.
Book tee times for your foursome at select exclusive courses and save up to 40% with your MasterCard.
We gave the world free HD. When we get back, we're going to have a hero's welcome for flipping that switch. You really think so? Yeah. We just made history, Bernie. Really? Yeah. There's probably parties in the streets. People singing, dancing. I love the astronauts flying in space. Giving me free HD. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Why don't I do the singing?
We gave it the power of a supercar. Then we gave it the precision of a Lexus. And in turn, wrote a new definition of what's possible for an automobile. This is the pursuit of the impossible. This is the pursuit of perfection.
We may have a problem. He's going to tell them about the event.
Expect anything different?
You're watching the U.S. Open Championship, part of NBC Sports Championship Season.
One of the most recognizable places in all the world, Pebble Beach, back here for the U.S. Open, and Tom Lehman trying to get his U.S. Open started with a birdie at the first.
Very slow putt. Just want to keep it really just short of the hole and two putt. And most guys do leave it short. And again, local knowledge, you know.
Tee at 18 is Poulter.
A driver surely is not necessary here, but it's part of the e-ticket ride. See what you can do. You don't want to go right, and that's a helicopter right finish. Is it going to come back? There it is.
Bunker.
That's I'm not sure if the tree, it's just right of the tree, I think, where you can sneak it by. And depends on the lie.
Another man that was part of the story last year, 4 par at the first, David Duvall, right in it with Mickelson and company. And Ricky Barnes at that U.S. Open.
That's a confidence builder.
Speaking of Barnes, here he is over with his difficult putt at 8.
And this is one crazy putt. It's going to just keep rolling. Watch this, folks. And don't forget, remember last year, Ricky Barnes, 27 holes to go, 6-stroke lead.
And still had a chance at the end with that long putt that just missed at the 72nd hole. David Toms at 16.
Yeah, up the hill, firm enough. Yes, it is. So after 3 straight bogeys, David Toms, the 43-year-old veteran playing in his 14th U.S. Open, he knows you got to stay patient. Makes a nice birdie, gets back to even. We go to 3.
Stephen Wheatcroft with his putt for birdie. Get into a tie for the lead, although it's not fair to say that after only 3 holes. Looks good. There he is, tied for the lead. He's playing with Morgan Hoffman, and they're sharing the lead after 3 holes. Back to 2.
Graham McDowell's 3rd shot here at the par 4. Drove it into the fairway bunker on the right-hand side, forced to lay up short of the Barranca. It's about 50 or 60 yards short of the green, so the second hole is brutally difficult today. So we go to the 8th.
And Barnes for the par.
Always left. Remember, folks, there's 2 golf courses out here. 1 through 7 is one golf course. 8 through 18, a totally different kind of course.
And Barnes
and much tougher, the latter.
He had that stretch of birdie, birdie, eagle on the other course you were talking about. Well, not sure what to get your dad for Father's Day? Go to NBCSports.com/shop and check out the Father's Day gift pack. Includes an official NBC Sports golf shirt, golf balls, and a 30th anniversary edition of Caddyshack, digitally remastered with 5.1 audio. Good stuff at NBCSports.com/shop today. Back over at the first. Dog leg to the right. Sergio Garcia getting his first round underway.
Definite birdie opportunity. The hardest part is see how far below his feet that ball is. Probably a good 2 inches, and you got to be careful to hit it flush and not to pull it or push it.
Garcia lost to Ian Poulter in the semifinals of the match play championship that Poulter eventually won.
See that ball keep trickling there. Watch this. It'll be just on the very edge. Not bad at all.
But it's amazing heading into this championship how little we've talked about Sergio Garcia in each successive major championship. It seems to slip through his fingers. To 6.
Craig Barlow, birdie putt on the way. Chance to take the lead at 2 under, but poor second shot forced him to lay up, and we go back to the first.
And Steve Stricker began this championship by driving into the bunker. Now his second.
Shot he's got. He looked like he might have pulled it by accident. Let's see what that does. I'm sure he was not aiming.
Oh, there it is.
No way he was aiming there. He's aiming where his ball is now.
Tee at 17, David Toms.
Here's that super tough shot. Going with a hybrid. Oh, there's another good shot.
Yeah.
Oh, nope, no, this
just got to the wrong side in a hurry, didn't it?
Yeah, look at now. You got you have to hit some sort of. The good news, he's on an upslope and he can hit a lob wedge and get maybe 8 feet left of the hole.
17, the second most difficult hole today. Just a quarter of the field reaching that green in regulation. Not many players under par, and they've only managed to get 1 under right now.
Today I am announcing my resignation.
From the most powerful court to the most powerless victims.
Justice Garza, you gave up everything to save me. Who says you were the only one who needed saving?
Jimmy Smith's Outlaw. Fridays this fall on NBC.
KCRA3 gives you more in the morning.
More reporters in more places.
Covering breaking news like no one else.
Stories that make a difference in your day. Weather anytime you need it, right on your screen. And your weekend always in view in your KCRA3 7-day forecast.
Real-time road sensors show us traffic trouble spots, so you know how to get around them.
More breaking news.
More weather and more traffic.
More in the morning from the Sacramento area's news leader, KCRA3, where the news comes first.
Edie Lambert and Walt Gray, tonight at 5 on KCRA3.
Defending champion Lucas Glover finishing up for par at 18.
Not an easy putt to read here. Just touches it.
Nicely done.
Wow, that was a beautiful, beautiful read.
And +2 is just a few shots off the lead. Let's go down to Mark Rolfing.
Thank you very much, Dan. Phil, 4 bogeys, no birdies. Did you have a sense when you came out here this morning how tough it was going to play?
I thought it was set up very fair, Mark. I didn't think that it was I thought there were some scores under par. I thought it was very good setup and very fair. I don't believe I should have shot over par. I putted horrific. I just really struggled with the putter, and you're going to make some bogeys. So a couple of bad swings here or there, you've got to accept them. I was fortunate not to make anything worse than bogey, but I didn't make any birdies, not one, and that just really hurts, especially given all the opportunities I had.
If the putting was horrific, how do you get it better for tomorrow?
Well, I'll have to work on it. I mean, it's I don't feel like I'm very far off with the ball striking. I thought I gave myself a number of opportunities, but I've got to get the ball in the hole.
All right, thanks, Phil.
Thanks.
All right, Poulter's second after finding the bunker off the tee.
It's actually in a nice spot. Beautiful lie, no problems. Good angle to lay it up.
As you said, well, that tree won't be a problem.
No, probably going with a 5-iron, I would imagine. Stay down nicely. Everybody likes it, but they shouldn't.
Bunker to bunker.
Wow, that was a pretty good mistake there. And then now he's in a raked area. A guy had just raked it the opposite direction as a shot. So it'll be interesting to see if that's sitting down, because that's not the angle you want the rake print to be.
Back across to the opening hole, Garcia for birdie.
It's actually not a hard putt, but most guys just don't get it to the hole. It's putting right towards the mountain. If you want to call it a mountain, hill. Yeah, hill in Utah.
And Garcia will open up with a par. Top 10 finish for Sergio last year at Bethpage.
At the second, Graham McDowell putting from just short of the green, just for par. Very slow up the slope.
And this 110th United States Open Championship is brought to you by Lexus. This is the pursuit of the impossible. This is the pursuit of perfection. By U.S. Bank, all of us serving you, U.S. Bank. And by Titleist, find out which Titleist is best for your game. What a place, what a day, and what a tough golf course. Best anyone can do finished is at 1 under. Poulter's playing 18 in the bunker. And back out to the first, Steve Stricker trying to pick up a birdie after finding the bunker with his tee shot.
That was a fantastic shot. Might have been a little bit of a pull, but it's got it right up the hill now. He just put on the green.
Yes, what a start for Stricker, who began his great comeback after the free fall from one of the best players in the world at Wingfoot in 2006. That was the beginning of it all, and he has just continued to come up with it, and they're very happy to join the group at 1 under early in this U.S. Open, on top for now. To 2.
Rocco Mediate for his par. Rocco got into the field. He was the first alternate out of the sectional qualifying site in Columbus, Ohio. But when Lee Westwood won in Memphis last week, they had a spot reserved in case there was a multiple winner. Lee Westwood already in. Rocco got the call. So the man with some history here is back at the U.S. Open as we go to 7.
Craig Barlow tied for the lead. 483rd in the world ranking. Looking at getting some points this week to move up. The safe play there just left of the hole. Chance to go to 2 under there. Let's go up to 18.
Third for Poulter.
Steve, good angle. That's the good news, but back into the wind. And who knows if he can hit this cleanly. Hopefully he can. Otherwise that bunker's in play. Unless he plays left. He's looking right at it. He's going for it.
Oh, is he going to get in there again?
Yes. 3 bunkers. He's in 3 bunkers in 1 hole. That is unusual. It's actually, I think, the same bunker. I can't remember if it ends or not, but it's a long bunker against that seawall.
Poulter definitely loves the views here at Pebble Beach in his first visit here. He has been tweeting videos from the course during his practice round yesterday. But he's not liking it too much right now. He's still in sand as he'll play his 4th in just a bit. And just about 5-6 minutes away from Tigers tee time. Johnny, and earlier you mentioned that you thought it would take a miracle of sorts for Tiger to be able to win this championship?
Well,
we'll get your thoughts on that in just a bit as we send you now to Jimmy Roberts for our U.S. Bank NBC Sports Report.
Welcome to the U.S. Bank NBC Sports Report. Here's your host, Jimmy Roberts.
Okay, we'll get you right back to the course in just a moment. And a reminder, Tiger Woods, who set a U.S. Open scoring record the last time the Open was here at Pebble Beach, tees off shortly, 4:36 Eastern Time. Quickly, though, some other sports news for you, starting with Day 7 of the World Cup and a big-time performance from a traditional power, Argentina against South Korea. Pick it up first half, Argentina already leading 1-0, 33rd minute. Nicolas Burdisso, the cross to Gonzalo Higuain, scores with the header. Argentina up 2-0. Higuain, huge game. Second half, South Korea cut the lead to 2-1, but Argentina's Lionel Messi, first shot blocked, second one off the post. Higuain is there for the follow, his second of the game, added another 4 minutes later for the hat-trick. Argentina wins it 4-1. They're now 2-0. South American teams, by the way, are 5-0-2 in the World Cup thus far. Greece and Nigeria, big moment here. The 33rd minute, Nigerian midfielder Sani Keita gets engaged with Vasilis Torresidis. Keita with the kick. Oh no, you are gone, my friend. That's a red card, and the momentum immediately switches. Move ahead, 44th minute, Greece's Dimitris Solpingidis, shot deflected and in. Tie ball game. First goal ever in World Cup competition for Greece. Then second half, 71st minute, Torresidis in front off the rebound to give Greece the 2-1 lead. That's the final. Greece's first ever World Cup win. And a quick reminder, get all of your World Cup updates on NBCSports.com, including analysis and features by leading soccer authority Goal.com. And one other result is just in, a pretty big upset. Mexico has defeated France 2-0. Back to golf for a moment, and for much more on the U.S. Open, pick up a copy of Friday's USA Today sports section. They'll have a complete wrap-up of today's first round, including the post-mortem on Phil Mickelson's day. Remember, Mickelson has had 5 runner-up finishes at the Open. Also, complete coverage of how things go for Tiger Woods today as well. It's all in tomorrow's edition of USA Today, all right? That's it. Back to the course now for more first-round coverage of the 110th U.S. Open Championship.
This has been the U.S. Bank NBC Sports Report. U.S. Bank, all of us serving you.
And Tiger Woods coming up over the bridge down toward the first tee. The first time since turning professional that he has entered the U.S. Open winless on the year. And this is a power-packed threesome with Tiger still #1. And you've got Westwood, the 3rd-ranked player in the world, and Ernie Els, who's won twice earlier, the 7th-ranked player in the world. And that's a hearty ovation for Tiger, 34 years old, trying to win a record-tying 4th U.S. Open and major championship number 15, which would leave him just 3 behind Jack Nicklaus's all-time record. And again, returning to Pebble Beach after the record-breaking 15-shot win in the 2000 U.S. Open here 10 years ago. Johnny, time for you to maybe finish the thoughts that you were never even able to start just a moment ago. But, I mean, this is a huge, he's not the favorite anymore.
Well, you know, he's one of the favorites. There's no doubt about that. But the things that are going through his mind with family life, off the course, the loss of really knowing what he's doing off the tee with his long shots. He's hit mid and short irons are very good. But there's a lot going on in this head of Mr. Tiger Woods. And it's not easy to play good golf like that. The good news for him is the memories of Pebble Beach. He loves Pebble Beach, even though he hasn't been back here since, what, 2003, is it? I think that's about what it is. And so he didn't play the 18T because he didn't like the slow rounds. And so he hasn't played here competitively for a long time. So this is an important opening, I think, first couple holes. Needs some good shots off the tee.
All right, get to this group in a moment at the first, but over at the 18th, 4th for Poulter.
Great angle, though, for having 3 bunker shots. That wasn't his best effort there.
That was a moment ago, and now trying to pull off the triple Sandy here.
Not sure why he went so far to the left on that bunker shot. That's very unusual to pull a bunker shot. A lot of times they squirt out right, but they don't usually go left.
Poulter picking up right where he left off at Bethpage Black last year. He shot the lowest score in that final round, a 67. Went on to finish tied for 18th, and he had another pretty close call at the Masters earlier this year. He was the 36-hole leader before he shot 74-73 on the weekend to finish tied for 10th.
So the Tom Watson putt that sealed his victory against Jack Nicklaus right here. A big old sweeper to the right.
Yeah, the birdie finish for Tom.
Looking pretty good.
Oh, Poulter runs it in, so he finds the bunker 3 times and still manages a par 5, and he's in that clubhouse tied for the lead at 1 under.
That was one of the, not a pretty par, I'll put it that way, but it looks pretty good on the scorecard.
Let's go over to the tee at the first.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 1:36 starting time. From Worksop, England, Lee Westwood.
Tied for 5th back in 2000, but more importantly, he has finished in the top 3 of the last 3 major championships. Also had a crack to win the Players earlier this year. 54-hole leader there. Just has not been able to close the deal in the big ones.
Yeah, going with, I guess it's a 3-iron. I'm not sure, but it's 3rd easiest fairway to hit in the last Open here, because it's a layup.
That's up the left side at the bunker. Just fine.
What club was that, Dottie? Is that like a 3-iron or something?
That's correct, Johnny.
That's a great angle. That you couldn't position any better than that, Dottie.
From George, South Africa, the 1994 and 1997 United States Open champion Ernie Els.
So Ernie, a couple of PGA Tour wins already this year at Doral and Bay Hill, the 2-time U.S. Open champion, and his 18th consecutive U.S. Open start, the longest current streak. The record is, of course, is 44 by Jack Nicklaus.
Well, he hit it right at that bunker on the right side with a 3-iron and a little kick right and roll right.
This is in 4-iron. That ball on the same line as Lee Westwood.
Good start. Let's see if Tiger Woods.
And from Windermere, Florida, the 2000, 2002, and 2008 United States Open champion Tiger Woods.
An enthusiastic round of applause for Tiger. I think this is a huge day for him, Johnny. He's got Els and Westwood right alongside them. They're playing some of the best golf in the world. We'll see how Tiger's game matches up today. And first rounds and opens are huge.
They are. It's an important shot. Back in the stance.
Oh, there's a twirl early.
That's good.
Big hop. And they're all lined up there down the right side of the first.
Well, this marquee group is off to a perfect start.
Westwood, Els, and Woods. Over to the 4th.
John Rawlings on the tee, and this is exactly what Mike Davis with the USGA was wanting when his setup. He's widened the fairway, hoping a player will take a driver and drive the screen, and watch this. Beautiful tee shot. Sets himself up for about a 15-foot putt for eagle. A very bold play, very aggressive.
When our U.S. Open coverage is over, there's still plenty to look forward to. You can head over to NBC.com to get a more colorful look at the new shows coming your way on NBC this fall. Pretty good look out there on the Monterey Peninsula. And over to the long par 4 second.
Paul Casey has driven in the left fairway bunker, which is a new bunker from when the Open was held here in the year 2000.
A little beep going on.
Yeah, not quite sure what that was. He's moving around a little quizzically as well. And while they look it over, we'll move ahead to the 7th.
Craig Barlow stay at 1 under par, tied for the lead. This is his par putt. A little aggressive on his first. Ooh, a little yank in there. See how quickly you can lose it here. And he's got to regroup. Be a lot of players are missing short putts this week. Still only one back. 2 holes to go. Back to 2.
Well, and this new bunker has a big lip, so you have to be careful here. You've got the Barranca about 50 yards short of the green.
Go a little. Pretty thin.
Go a little. He's asking for it to go a little. Okay. Comes up just short, but that's not a bad position.
That's a great position if you're going to miss the green. Course average right now, Gary, 75 on the button.
Well, this second hole, Johnny, averaging almost 4.7. So par 5 converted to a 4 that the guys are struggling with as we go back to the first.
And Tiger first to play in this group ahead of Westwood and Els. Longest droughts between major wins. Just about in that 2-year span. He went 2 years, he went nearly 3 years between the 2002 U.S. Open at Bethpage and then the next win at the Masters in 05.
Not a lot of players are going to feel sorry for that little record. I mean, 2 years, you know. But this is the big problem here is he needs to just have a nice solid start. Give himself a decent look for birdie, get the par if that's what he ends up with, and go to number 2.
Had that high finish at Augusta to start the comeback. But you cannot get away with missing fairways here in this U.S. Open.
You can see that ball's, what, 3 inches below his feet.
I'd say that would qualify as a pretty good start for Tiger. Took a little peek on the way back.
That's some crazy backspin. I know he uses a ball that spins more than the rest of the guys, but that acted like one of the balls we used to play with.
And keep it here for Ernie.
Thought it might go in for a second. I was thinking, whoa.
Yeah.
5 yards closer for Ernie.
Thought you might go into one of your Tiger predictions that you had a feeling he'd pull away from the field. 125. Like he did in 2000.
I don't know what to predict with Tiger.
It's impossible. It's the huge question. $64 million question.
Okay. All right. Feel the shot.
Taking dead aim at it. If anything, aiming the titch left of the flag.
Solid contact, but right of the hole, Johnny.
Yeah, see the difference in those 2 shots, Dottie? I mean, Tiger is like it's like a totally different game, the 2 balls.
The trajectories were totally different.
Ernie hit sort of a little low liner, half shot.
It's between Tiger's ball and the flag now.
133 for Lee Westwood.
This caddy's trying to get him to hit it between Tiger's ball and the flag stick, maybe with the baby draw.
That would leave him an uphill putt for sure. This is in fact right of Tiger's ball. And heavy.
Not a very good shot. It's a pretty nerve-wracking experience for any player to put Tiger and even Ernie in the first round of the U.S. Open. A lot of responsibility on Westwood's shoulders from Great Britain.
Well, here's Tiger's first swing from the fairway here.
What a sound it made. That was so solid. Look at the spin, folks.
And it had eyes for an eagle to start off the first hole, and there has been only one eagle on this hole in the U.S. Open. And that was back in 2000 when Hal Sutton, who was on his game big time at the time. In fact, he was ranked number 6 in the world. This was an 8-iron from 136 yards on his very first hole of the championship. And that was the guy that took down Tiger at the Players Championship earlier that year. And Tiger nearly duplicated it. It was a pretty good shot. Looked like it might fall down for eagle as well. Up ahead to 4 for perhaps another eagle.
Yeah, John Rollins coming off a bogey on 3, trying to get that back in style. That was a beautiful tee shot, laser-like up that 4th hole.
What a great try. That should have gone in.
Let's go up to 16.
This just a moment ago, Peter. Ty Tryon with a putt for a birdie. Let's get to 4 over. First Tryon, the young man who qualified for the PGA Tour at the age of 17, played 1 year and then just kind of disappeared. But good to see him back on this stage as we go over to the second. And Steve Stricker, tough second shot here at the long par 4.
He birdied out of the bunker on the last hole, but not this one. That hit the lip.
Yeah, it just caught the fescue grass coming out. Look at this shot. Oh my goodness. Obviously that grass didn't have any effect. Wow.
What shots.
Over to the first.
And Westwood.
Actually, from a quite good lie with a straight-faced club, that is just an explosion.
It just popped out of there.
Yeah, you got a flyer. That happens sometimes. And what a start. You can see the ashen look on his face, like put it exactly where you don't want to putt from at Pebble Beach.
To 7.
Well, we have amateur Joseph Bramlett not having his best day, but he'll remember this for the rest of his life. This was a moment ago. Remember, he was the one who got to play a practice round with Tiger. Stanford grad in the lob wedge here. Ooh, good bouncing, good spin. Just hit the downslope of the bunker. Over to 10. Judy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 1:47 starting time. Please welcome from Japan, Ryo Ishikawa.
And this is quite a pairing. First U.S. Open appearance for this 18-year-old sensation, who was born on the same day with his playing competitor Rory McIlroy, who you'll see here in a moment. And the third guy in the group, well, we'll let him be introduced here in just a couple of moments.
You talk about responsibility of your country, playing for your country. That's this man right here. Can we finally have a Japanese player really do super well in the U.S. Open? Since Aoki and Balderstraw with Nicklaus. Nope.
Over to the first, and Ernie Els. Look at this swing.
Big sweeper here coming off that knob right there, and down it goes, and watch, it'll just keep trickling. And you can imagine the putt that Lee Westwood is going to putt. It's almost a crazy putt from there. Just if you hit it there, you got no chance.
Back to 10.
Rory McIlroy now on the tee. This hole's been extended some 50 yards.
And from Stillwell, Kansas, the 1982 U.S. Open champion Tom Watson.
So you've got Ishikawa at the age of 18, Rory McIlroy at 21, combined age 39, and 60-year-old Tom Watson.
And he can play Pebble, obviously.
And he's gotten off to great starts in the last 2 majors. Opened with that 65 in the British Open last summer, and then the 67 at the Masters just a couple of months ago. Was just one back to start. So there is the youth group and Tom Watson. What a pairing. A moment ago, this was Westwood for par at the first.
Well, you better go in because it's not going to stop.
So Westwood off to a head-spinning start. At 18, you've got the third here at the par 5 for David Toms, who's had 4 bogeys in the last 5 holes.
That could be good.
And maybe he can get this one back and then some.
What a shot. Best shot we've seen, huh, Dan?
Yep. So that should be a birdie for Toms to get it back to even. And back to the first and Tiger's birdie attempt.
And not much clearer picture of how important it is to stay under the hole here at Pebble Beach. He gets to play offense. His fellow competitors all defense.
Slow putt, just moves a little right.
Didn't get the eagle. Almost got the birdie, but it'll be a par start. Up ahead at the second.
Lengthy birdie putt for Steve Stricker. That'll be influenced by the knob. You can see coming out of the bunker to his left. It'll move it right in the middle of the putt. And I don't know if it'll come back that much, but a good par on the second.
We're just getting started here in our coverage of this U.S. Open on NBC. We're back tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern time again. Live second round coverage of this 110th United States Open Championship from Pebble Beach. Back to the first and Ernie Els for par.
Donnie.
Putt that's very much like Tiger's. Wants to fall to the right at the very end and on the slow side.
Commit yourself to hitting it flush. It's slow. That's just what he didn't want to do. You gotta commit to giving it a good wrap. Well, you hit it in the wrong spot. If you hit it past the hole on number 1, even a little bit to the right, you have a putt that breaks 12 to 15 feet, and it just won't stop. Once it makes a left turn, goes down the fall line, it just keeps going.
To 17. 7, excuse me.
Where Joseph Bramlett has his 5-footer for a birdie. Breaks a little bit to the left. Nice 2 there for the Stanford grad. Back to 1.
And for bogey Westwood.
What a big putt. That's beautiful. That's a good stroke.
So Westwood and Els bogey it. Tiger with an opening par, just getting things going. The 3 of the real stars here at Pebble Beach, and there are a lot of them going after the second major of the season. All of those players 1 under, 4 in at that score, including Ian Poulter and Mike Weir.
U.S. Bank can meet all your business's financial needs, helping you reach new heights. From business lending to payment services, equipment financing to commercial real estate, to the personal banking needs of every employee. U.S. Bank offers the expertise and stability you deserve. Whether your business is global or your world is local, you don't just get one of us, you get all of us serving you. U.S. Bank.
We gave it the power of a supercar. Then we gave it the precision of a Lexus. And in turn, wrote a new definition of what's possible for an automobile. This is the pursuit of the impossible. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Hey, kid. Nice shot. Of course, you know what this means, don't you?
Yep. The drinks are on me. Cheers.
If you cherish golf's special moments,
Join the organization that cherishes the game. Become a member of the USGA by visiting usga.org today.
It is the most physically demanding test.
This is really nerve-wracking.
Golf's elite take the stage for the U.S. Women's Open. Coming July 10th to NBC.
Back at the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach, 110th edition continues on this first round, and Tiger after an opening par at the second.
Going with less than a driver, trying to hit a little stinger 3-wood. Asking for it to straighten out. The fairway does slant left to right, but there's that shaved area right into the bunker. As we go over to 3.
While we were away, Tom Lehman, the back edge of the par 4 third, with difficult pitch down and to the right. Won the Senior Players Championship, PGA Championship 2 weeks ago. And look at this. Slams it home, working the crowd. He's a guy that could do well at the end of 4 rounds this week. Let's go to the tower on 18.
All right, Brad, it's a kind of golf course, Johnny, that the old guys can play. You've got Lehman out there off to a good start. Tom Lehman and Tom Watson just getting his championship going. Of course, the winner back here in 1982. Some final thoughts before we go off the air here at NBC.
Well, Pebble Beach has got to feel pretty good about itself. You know, it was really a nice day thus far to play out here. Not too heavy a wind, and the greens were watered last night. But yet, just 1 under par. Nobody is broken into the 60s. Last time that's happened is an 86 at Shinnecock in the first round.
One last look at this leaderboard. Just 1 under. Tiger Woods off to that par start. And for a full wrap-up of the day's events, you can watch the U.S. Open wrap-up presented by Lexus live on NBCSports.com at the conclusion of today's championship coverage. And again, we're back here tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern Time, with the second round of this U.S. Open. And for continuing coverage of today's first round, you can join ESPN as this championship continues. Coming up next, except on the West Coast at your local news, then tonight beginning at 8/7 Central, it's Community, followed by an all-new 100 Questions. And at 11:30, it's a brand new Tonight Show with Jay Leno with special guest Jonah Hill. For our entire NBC Sports team, Dan Hicks saying so long for now from Pebble Beach. You've been watching the 110th United States Open.
All these heroes come and go. Only 2 weeks a year do these hallowed London grounds awaken. On June 26th, the doors open, awaiting the next great champion to seize history.
Her 20th Grand Slam win. There stands Pete Sampras, tennis's grandest champion.
The championships, Wimbledon.
And Federer stands alone.
Part of NBC Sports Championship season.
Calvin Burrell strikes again. Championship. Look at him, look, he done it. And Rafael Nadal wins his 5th French Open title. Stanley Cup champion. U.S. Open champion. How about that?
NBC Sports Championship season.